Trail with 100% shooting. Bradley 4 out of 4 and leads 9-2. Wichita with the ball. They brought in Bailey, a 6'9" sophomore, Curtis Bailey from Birmingham, Alabama. That's Askew inside at 7 foot. He powers up a shot that misses, and Williams rebounds. And they also brought in Cedric Coleman, number 11.
It's trouble when you power a shot up from 10 feet. They often go like that.
Wichita man-to-man. Hawkins. Chalk it up.
Coleman that time got lost behind a couple of picks. By the time he found Hawkins, the Hawk had found the basket, and Wichita's got a problem there.
Percy Hawkins had 18 points here as a freshman. Bailey fires and misses. Trevor Trempe and Bradley owns the boards too with an 11-2 advantage.
Braves have not missed.
Les on the fly is held. Hawkins had 18 points as a freshman here a year ago. He just came off a game of 26 against Illinois Wesleyan.
Officials that time didn't seem sure about what they wanted to call. As you saw, he was moving. And they gave it to Cundiff, and that apparently was what they were confused over. I really didn't see Cundiff's foul. I guess they got him on the reach.
Here's one of the Prelo twins coming in for the Shockers. They're freshmen from Columbia, South Carolina. Cundiff goes out. This is Dwight Prelo. The other is Dwayne. They're both 6'5", 185. Man-to-man. Prelo's bigger. He's 6'5". He's bigger to guard Les. Inside Hawkins missed point blank. Bradley's first miss. Wichita up-tempos the game now. They'd like to play coast-to-coast with Bradley if they could. That's Gene Smithson's style.
What they'd like to do is make a few baskets. It's been a troublesome point for them all season long. Believe it or not, against Kansas, they shot 11% in one half.
Inside it goes. Santos, he's there, puts it up and it went out. Santos missed a layup, and he was reasonably all alone. Les pulls up and shoots. Rebound long to Dwight Prelo. Wichita State. The crowd wanting some calls, 11-2. Inside, Askew missed again. Williams another board. Bradley's on the hunt. Percy slides, blocked away. A foul on Hawkins of Bradley. Dick Versace to our left, Gene Smithson to our right, both standing.
They got a look there at the call. Didn't seem to be a whole lot of contact, as a matter of fact. Player went to the floor, and that's probably what got him the foul.
Coleman is 11. Wichita State's run in about 8 players already. Inside Santos, that's the man they want, but Bradley Braves strip it. Up ahead is Hawkins, stuff time. Try slamma-jamma for that one. It's 13-2 Bradley.
Well, we mentioned Turpie having a trouble with numbers. Cedric Coleman knows Hawkins' number. He's seeing his back quite a lot.
Askew drills it. John Askew at 7 feet hits outside. The crowd is reacting because Jim Left swiped Prelo's arm away from the hand check. They usually allow a hand check. Les goes in, lost the ball. Well, I'll tell you one thing that won't happen to Bradley here tonight. Last year, Bradley played against Xavier McDaniel twice. In the 2 games, he had 76 points and 42 rebounds. Yeah, 76 points and 42 rebounds. Not even Rambo could do that. Askew missed, foul on Big John. He's a junior out of Detroit, Michigan. He's had 11 points in his last 2 games, coming on a little bit for Gene Smithson.
Here's a look inside. Askew going up. He's not bashful. He's shot about 5 already. Then he decided to go after Mike Williams. Askew's a pretty big guy.
Shockers shooting 20% as Lesk is rejected nicely. Good defensive work by Santos. The Shockers the other way. Bailey had a free shot, goes inside, blocked by Powell. And Powell threw one right back at the 7-footer. Snuffed it.
But they called the foul as well on Donald.
Foul was on Trempe.
That time, one of the few times, really, Wichita has gotten back on the transition. It was a big problem early, and the main reason why it's 13-4. Now on the other end. As you get a look at Donald Powell, who will fly into your picture right here, but they got him for the foul as well.
The block by Powell, the foul on Trempe. And 2 shots for Askew. Second foul on Trempe. And the 4th on the Braves. Wichita State has shot only 42% field goals for the season, but they've held their opponents to that same number. In other words, they've shot poorly, and so have their opponents. Askew put it down. 13-5, Bradley. 13:50 to play in the opening half. This game is far from being decided. Hawkins charging. Second foul on Hawkins.
The Hawk, once again, is really hot. He was placid for about a season and a half. Now Hawk is beginning to gripe about almost every call. It seems to be something players go through. Jimmy Les last year went through a stage where he was griping all the time, and now the Hawk seems to be getting into that.
The Hawk is the man with invisible wings when he goes to the basket, and that time he plowed through someone. Here's a steal by the Hawk. He got that back, and Bradley hurries. Mike Williams last man up. Les calls the play. Man-to-man by the Shockers. Gene Smithson's been a staple for him over the years. Mike Williams steps in and is fouled. A lot of fouls called in the early going here.
Grayer will come back into the game for number 11, Coleman. This is something Gene Smithson's had to deal with, trying to find the right combination, and it leads to a lot of confusion on the court, a lot of fouls. And I think Gene thinks this is a team that really is not going to come together until maybe later this year and definitely next year. He doesn't have a senior on the team.
Williams had 21 points and 10 rebounds against Wichita last year in the game in Peoria. That's the game McDaniel had 43 points and 20 rebounds. Mike hit them both. Bradley by 10, 15-5, and they extend zone pressure 1-3-1. It's a variation zone. Bailey still in the game. 6'9". Yes.
Curtis Bailey, maybe the best shooter for the Shockers this season, 53%. He just hasn't seen a lot of time.
Bradley hurries it up. Mike Williams steps in. Easy hoop for Mike. Once again, the Bradley lead builds to 10.
Frank, we're about 7 minutes into this one as we see Santos get out of bounds, but we haven't seen the ball in his hands very often.
Nice play by Santos. He was pinned on the baseline, so he threw it off the biggest thing he could see in the building, Mike Williams. And Wichita State retains control. Good presence of mind. Watch the court balance of Bradley's defense. They play zone. They really covered up inside. Askew's doubled. Santos now doubled. Steps in anyway. Power move. That's a New York City move.
Santos went to the same high school as a kid named Lou Alcindor. Just did it about 20 years later.
He can play. Let's get physical. So can Powell. Missed, but not the second time. Bradley, 19. Wichita State, 9 with 12 to play in the first half of an interesting Valley game. Bradley was said to be a 1-point favorite. Askew, fifth. Williams wheels the ball to Hawkins. Missed. He wanted a foul. Wichita State's got 3 on 2. Throw it away. The other end. If he can catch it, it's a layup. It's blocked. Grayer got it. Steve Grayer, the brilliant defensive play. Now Hawkins. Good.
Well, the Hawk did everything he could for about a minute to get a basket. He got fouled, he griped about fouls, and he finally got one in. Gene Smithson's going to unload some more off the bench. Henry Carr getting ready to come in.
We've seen him as a starting center for the Shockers. Bailey outside at 6'9". Grayer is 6'8". How's that for some size? Here comes Henry Carr, no small guy himself, 6'9", 200. He plays good defense. Askew gets a rest.
Here we look inside. Wichita's going to be a lot more effective if they start looking for Santos, who was silent for about the first 7 minutes of this game. They got to look to him right now, as you can take a look at Cundiff, who's back into the game as well.
And I'm not surprised with the tempo that Dick Versace gets the first 2 subs subs in for Bradley. Len Bertolini, 44, is on, and so is Greg Jones, 32. Hawkins and Williams sit down.
Dick was very happy in the Illinois Wesleyan game about one thing, and that is he was able to get the starters some rest, because he thought on these 3 road games that his starters might have to put in 35, 38 minutes.
Santos hits the free throw. Bradley leads by 11, 21-10. Santos a good player. He had a back injury last year, but he's got 2 more years, and he'll be a force around the league. Bradley now has Les and Bertolini with Trempe, Powell, and Jones. Jones will play inside. Les outside. Rebound, Henry Carr. If you wonder, he is the brother of Antoine Carr, who played with the Atlanta Hawks and, of course, played here. Henry turns and missed. And the Braves rebound. And Cundiff gets back nicely on defense for the Shockers. They saw what Bradley was trying to do, and they've stopped the break now. Powell. Powell was fouled on the shot, and back into the starting lineup, Sasha Radunovic. A wondrously named young man from Titograd, Yugoslavia.
Here we get another look as Donald got fouled. Kind of sounds silly, but Titograd has become a basketball factory of sorts for Wichita State. We mentioned a little bit early Duricic, who played on some very good teams with Carr and McDaniel, came from the same high school. Donald Powell.
22 for Bradley, half of that for Wichita State. 10:31 to play in the opening half. You just get the feeling that Wichita is going to make a run at Bradley, and the crowd's going to get into the game. And maybe when Williams is out of the lineup. Trempe. Nice rebound, Radunovic. Here come the Shockers. Grayer, stop and pop from the foul line. Radunovic is outside, and they keep the ball. Carr gave him a little life inside. He wants it. He's got it. Grayer slides. Scores. Oh, is he a smooth player?
Steve Grayer, Mr. Basketball in Georgia last year, and they like to call him Magic. A lot of the same characteristics as that guy with the Lakers. 6'8", to play inside and outside.
He's a finesse player. He's got 3. Jones, the forward spot, looks for help. Les fakes. Bradley having trouble penetrating Wichita's defense right now. Bertolini covered up by a guy 5 inches taller. In it goes to Jones. He lost it. And Wichita State is making a little run. 22-13 with 9:29. There's timeout on the court. Bradley's leading at Henry Levitt Arena in Wichita. We'll be right back.
See you later, Mark. Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight?
I know exactly how it happens. A guy will walk in, handsome, mysterious. He orders a beer. A lady brings it over. They fall madly in love. He sweeps her away, shows her the world, and totally changes her life forever. It happens to people all the time.
Coors Light, please.
I couldn't handle it.
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight. Coors Light beer.
Now at Cohen's, the latest in remote control VCRs, RCA's newest video cassette recorder, now with 4-head video system and special effects, plus all the most wanted features, 14-day 4-event programmer, all digital display, multi-band electronic tuner, plus RCA's infrared wireless remote control. That's right, RCA's latest VCR with 4-head video system and infrared remote control, now at Cohen's, now just $4.49. Cohen's for the latest from RCA.
Hey, guys, how does a fish dinner sound?
Sounds good to me. Now at Long John Silver's, you can get 3 fish fillets, fries, creamy coleslaw, and hush puppies, all for one special price.
Sounds like a taste in a place I want to be. Sounds crisp, sounds light, but there's a crunch in every bite. Long John Silver's.
3-piece fish dinner for a special price.
Sounds good to me.
Dynasty, weekdays at 3 on TV 25.
been used to almost naming the Bradley player of the game after Hersey Hawkins. He's off to another quick start with 9 points tonight. But we got to call it the Plaza Video Bradley player of the game. Could be somebody else. They'll be named later. Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund.
Bradley a little more intense on the defensive end. Trempe playing out front of a zone on the point. 3-2 set. Kunda fires. Long rebound. Henry Carr, nice hustle. This will be a rock'em sock'em thing. Good atmosphere for basketball here. You'll notice the court that's painted bright yellow used to be painted black. Painted black. That was the Stones, wasn't it? Inside Carr. Yes, and it counts. Oh, you had the strength to stay with it.
Henry Carr has not been a force on offense this season. Only 4 points a game. Hasn't shot well. This one's not bad. Big play to get Wichita within 7 and maybe 6 with 8:48 to go.
One of the big factors, that's the 7th team foul on Bradley.
Wichita's made the run with Hersey Hawkins and Mike Williams sitting on the bench, really not for foul problems.
Carr, a 33% foul shooter, showed you why. And a foul on Bradley on the rebound. It's on Bertolini against Santos. And Bradley's getting out-muscled now, and Dick Versace has a word for Ron Zetcher. Zetcher has a perpetual tan. Maybe it's because of those scorchings he gets along the sidelines.
Dick Versace was about to give him the old furnace job, I got a hunch.
Santos made both of his tries at the line in the game tonight. Bradley shooting 52% in the early going. The Shockers 27%.
Been their problem all season. Matter of fact, free throw shooting's been their problem all season, just like the Braves.
22-16. Bradley's 11-point lead is down to 6. 8:45 in the first half. Hawkins back off the bench. 1 out of 2 that time for WSU.
Something you might want to do this time down. Watch 32, Greg Jones underneath. He's had some pretty mean picks to get other guys open. He's out right now going inside.
Bradley's got a small lineup in the game right now. Les going against Cundiff is blocked by Gary. Jim Les very difficult to guard when he turns the corner. Hawkins in, Bertolini out. Now that's the same height, Hawkins and Bertolini, but Bradley just got bigger because of Hawkins' extraordinary jumping ability.
They are still talking, some of the people who were on the Hawaii trip, about a dunk that Hawkins had there, where they claim and would swear that Hawkins' chest was near the rim on a dunk. You can get out the old calculator and try to figure it out, but that means he is about 49 or 50 inches up there.
My chest is near the rim when I change the basket on my son's goal.
That's
every
right,
once in a while.
with the ladder.
With the ladder.
And it's scary then.
It is, it really is. Les, with his perfect form, nails a pair. Bradley by 8. Just under 8.5 minutes in the first half. We could have a big scoring game if the guys get hot shooting, because nobody's going to be bashful to put it up. Grayer, good-looking freshman guard, 6'8". He's number 20, comes from Macon, Georgia. He was Mr. Basketball in Georgia. Santos from New York. This team has no seniors. They represent 8 states and a foreign country on the roster. See, like United Nations.
Wouldn't want to pay their travel bills.
Wow. Bradley retains the ball.
It's an interesting change here. Smithson for a couple of years was doing well from the area, getting guys like Carr and Sherrod as the basis of the program. Now he's had to expand it a little bit.
Radunovic with the ball.
Clock down to 2.
Shot clock down to 2. One, they don't see it. And for the first time in the game, the shot clock became a factor, and everybody missed it.
And Wichita just had no idea. Cundiff at the last second turned to watch double zeros come up.
So Bradley's defense keeps the Shockers from a shot. Wichita stays man-to-man with Cundiff hawking Jim Les. That'll be a fight. Boy, Santos comes out really physical on Trevor Trempe. Les is free. Henry Carr. Henry Carr looks like he came to play tonight. Santos baseline. Grayer's under control for a freshman. He's there. Blocked by Powell. Nice play by Donald. Les running with Hawkins. Les fell down. Hawkins fires. No. 6:58 in the game.
Hawk wanted the 2-on-1 there, I think, but Jimmy just seemed to slip and go down, so the Hawk had the open jumper. Frank, a couple of scores, both out of the Valley. Tulsa over Creighton, 39-24, and at halftime, Drake, the Braves' next opponent, is leading Southern Illinois 40-31.
Mike Williams is not in the game. He has 2 fouls for Bradley. Hawkins is. He has 2. Radunovich missed. And out of bounds. Or do we have a foul? 22, Dwight Prelo back in for the Shockers.
They got Santos that time, going over Greg Jones. Substantial body. The Braves really like Greg Jones. He's not the kind of guy who's going to come into a game and maybe score 10 points right away or anything like that. But he does some great work inside in getting other guys free. And you got to remember, he didn't play a whole lot last year. He's got knee problems, probably will always have knee problems. But if he gets 10 minutes a game, he's really going to help the team out.
He knocked that one in. Bradley by 9, 6:38 to go. Jones tries again. No, this time. And Henry Carr clicks off another board. Santos brings the ball up the court. Heaviest point guard in the country. Baseline Carr is stolen by Jones, but out of bounds to the men in white. Shot clock reset. Cundiff moves to the right. Ball slapped way up in the air. Trempy saves it inbounds, but to Radunovich. He's got it again. Count it. It's a foul.
Things have not been going well for Wichita in getting their shots. This time Radunovich, though, missed the layup and decided, well, I'll try to get another one. That one doesn't go. This time he comes straight back up. Probably the best rebounder on this team. Him and Powell are really slapping each other on this one. They finally get the foul called, and Radunovich can make it a 3-pointer. And once again, Wichita looking to cut the lead to 6.
He's 22 years old. He's a physical player. He made that. And it's a 6-point Bradley lead. The scoreboard flashes Sasha. Les comes to the right. The compliment in many arenas is that they boo him. Hawkins, stutter step to Jones for the layup. Brilliant pass by Hawkins.
One of the things about his game last year that people have said, well, the one weakness he might have is his passing isn't that great. Well, he's become a pretty good passer. And there's not much left to criticize Hersey Hawkins about on a basketball court.
Santos answers. Missed. Trempy covers up. In case you're wondering, Bruce Mordini is not here. He has qualified for a medical red shirt and will sit out this season for Bradley, as 6'10" Tom Kosich from Calumet City has for the Shockers. Donald Powell. The Shockers run. They could cut it to 6. Dwight Prelo is 22. Cundiff.
Cundiff that time looked a little bit confused in the offense. He stumbled in front of a pass, finally got his mark out on the perimeter and hit the jumper.
5 minutes left in the first half. The Braves by a half a dozen. Powell's gone all the way. Williams been out a while. Les gone all the way. Inside Jones, turnaround, no. Powell rebounds, taken away. 3-on-1 Wichita. Here come the Shockers. Radunovich throws up a wild shot, blocked by the Braves. Trempy has it.
Few shots I've ever seen go backwards.
Jones slides the baseline. Whistle. Foul on Wichita.
Carr on the floor and with the foul on that one. Wichita crowd doesn't like it. See what you think. Good pass by Jimmy down on the baseline, and Carr tried to really get his foot in front of Carr, or in front of Greg Jones instead of his body.
I'd like to remind you who's helping you bring this game to you tonight. It's Coors Light, Cohen's, and North Point and Plaza Video Stores. Thank all of you. And thank you for joining us tonight in a rather balmy Wichita, temperature near 50 degrees here.
We've got the magic touch. Everywhere we go somewhere, it turns into spring. We got to go into the travel agency business.
At least.
Some people who listen to us think the same thing.
Greg Jones 1 out of 3 from the line with 3 points in the first half. He makes Bradley's lead 8 now at 28-21. Now there's a timeout on the court. There's 4:29 to go, and we'll be back for the end of the first half in just a moment.
Brown Sporting Goods presents the ultimate fitness machine, the Marcy EM1. The ingenious design provides ease of use, institutional precision action, and a multiple station machine. You can save $100 on this fantastic system. Brown's has it for only $499.88. The EM1 has all the features you'd find in institutional quality equipment. Bring the health club into your own home with the Marcy Professional EM1. Marcy and Brown's, 2 great names in fitness.
'Cause no one's quite the same. Hardee's makes 3 big new burgers. A taste for each and everyone. Picking one is really fun.
Hardee's new thicker, juicier quarter-pound burger comes 3 delicious ways. Quarter-pound cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger, and Big Deluxe.
Hardee's, we've got people love.
You've probably heard that Coors isn't pasteurized. Well, it's true. It's also true that Coors is the only major brewer who won't pasteurize any of their beer. The reason? Taste. See, when you pasteurize something, you heat it. And heating hurts the taste of beer. So Coors purifies without heat. That helps make Coors a little less heavy, never bitter, but with all the spirit of a great beer. So when you want a beer, it's just plain better. Coors is the one.
Love Connection, weekdays at 4 on TV 25.
Thursday night means a lot of good things to watch on TV 25. And if you're a fan of Cheers, Night Court, or Hill Street Blues, don't worry. We've got good news. Tonight's episode of Cheers can be seen Saturday evening at 6:30, Night Court Sunday at 2 o'clock, Hill Street Blues Sunday night right after News 25 at 10. We'll take care of you.
I'd like to send along our warm best wishes for a full and healthy recovery to Coach Jim Spink of Bradley, who's in the hospital, we hope recuperating, and we hope Jim is going to be well and back on the hilltop very soon. And we know that all the Bradley players and fans would join us in wishing Jim Spink a speedy recovery.
Frank Bradley's shooting has fallen off 45%. They got that hot start 9-2. That's really kept them going for this first half. Bailey.
It's like Bailey's cream.
Pop music. We got to throw this in. Pop music fans will want to know that Curtis Bailey is the cousin of Philip Bailey. Used to be with Earth, Wind, and Fire and done some singing. That one didn't.
Donald Powell missed a dunk that landed in almost the upper deck.
That ball had a ticket.
Looked like Ryan Sandberg hit a high foul up behind us.
Here we go. It happened after the dunk, actually. Donald goes up. Nothing called. Now they're going to have to scramble in the corner, which you're not going to see, but trust us, the ball went in deep into the seats.
Trempe horses the rebound and fouls hard. And Bradley's piling up the fouls with 3:56, and Bradley leading by now only 5. I don't think Nick Versace is going to get Mike Williams back in. That's the 3rd foul on Trempe, and he'll have to go out.
Jerry Thomas will come into the game. First look at Jerry tonight. He's been in a real slump from the field. It'll be interesting to see if he even shoots very much tonight.
He's only shooting 4 of his last 19 from the field. At the free throw line, Henry Carr. And if you're a Bradley fan, he's one of the guys you'd pick. He's 0 for 1 tonight, 33% on the year. I guarantee you he couldn't win a free throw shooting contest with his coach. Radar Gene can fire him in yet, I'm sure.
Carr could get mileage as far as this ball goes up. Watch it.
He missed that. Donald Powell tipped at it. Now Bradley has it. 3:53 to go. The lead is melted to 4. Bradley on top. Bradley's led all the way.
I'd like to get Hersey Hawkins back into the offense. 9 quick ones, haven't heard from him since.
Baseline Powell. Les hasn't had many shots. They've watched him, and here comes one. Henry Carr is a force on the board. Hawkins the near steal. Wichita's got the advantage, 5 on 4. Prelo is 22. Bailey is 12. Bailey. Here comes the crowd.
The bench has got Wichita back into this one. Carr. Bailey with the offense. It's now a 2-point game.
We wouldn't know how to act if it wasn't like that.
This has been Bradley's specialty. They'll let anybody back in it.
Hawkins, great pass inside to Jones, and he's fouled. Give Hawkins a big boost. Nice drop down pass to the breaking man. And Gary Cundiff comes back on for the Shockers.
Rick Jones also with a boost. With his body, he's only 6'5", but he's very wide, and he really knows how to play the pivot well. He can go to the foul line a lot, and he's done it a lot tonight.
Santos is in. John Askew is out. 7-footer Askew at 240. Santos, one of the little guys, 6'7", 2 1/4.
Boy, Smithson got to have a turnstile over there by the bench. They really shuttle him in and out.
Greg Jones, 2 out of 4 at the free throw line. Now has 5. The longer he plays, the more confident he looks out there.
He's another guy who could get frequent flyer mileage on his shots. Watch how far up they go.
30-26, Bradley. Just under 3 minutes in the first half. Missouri Valley Conference action. Perhaps the most important game Bradley has played so far this year because it's a Valley game, and it's on the road, and it's against a good team. Coleman inside for the dunk. Henry Carr. I think he wants his starting job back. How many is that for Carr? 5.
He's got at least that many rebounds.
2-point game. Jerry Thomas steps in and got it. And Jerry Thomas's hoop makes Bradley's lead 4. 10,000 plus fans have gathered here to watch 2 perennial Valley powers slug it out. Bailey. And Bradley has it with Jones.
Now Jimmy will take it back out and they'll slow it up. Under 2 minutes now.
Hawkins. Jerry Thomas over the back on the foul. This series has been a continuous one. Bradley and Wichita State since 1946-47. And it's a great rivalry.
Unbelievable players have been in these games. Wichita's history dates back, as you well know, Frank, to Dave Stallworth and Antoine Carr, Cliff Livingston. They've had some good ones. The famous Cheese Johnson.
Absolutely. They had a pair of glass-eating forwards in Cliff Livingston and Antoine Carr. They're now both in the NBA. Only 3 numbers have been retired in Wichita history. Stallworth, Carr, and the famous Xavier McDaniel.
Santos might be next. He's had some health problems. He plays a couple full seasons. He will be all conference at the least.
He got it. It's a 32-30 Bradley lead. 1:50 to go in the first half. Frank Bissoni along with Mike Dimmick on WEEK. Les being hawked by Cundiff, and Cundiff has done well. Les is not easy to guard. Les pushes across the paint. Double low block set up. Powell turns and sends it outside. Hawkins posts up, fouled by Coleman. Coleman strong. He's 6'2" and 190.
On this team, Coleman has quite a lot of experience, as a matter of fact. He started quite a few games last year when Wichita made a run and got into the NCAAs. That time he tried to overplay the Hawk. He's doing a better job on defense, though. Hawk was eating him up early.
Played at the same high school as Xavier McDaniel, Coleman did. Hawkins drilled it. He has now 10 in the game and 2 out of 3 at the foul line. 10 for Hawkins, halfway to his average.
I think Gene Smithson's got a room in Columbia. Dwight and Dwayne Prelo, who are a couple of the twins, freshmen are also from AC Flora High School in Columbia.
Jeff Jones, who used to play at Illinois State, does a lot of recruiting for the Shockers too. Bradley by 4, 1:20 to go. Remember, a 45-second clock allows nobody to take one shot in a situation like this. Bailey pulls back. 6'9", 185, pencil thin, but he can shoot it. A lot of banging inside. Foul on Jones. That's 3 on Jones. 3 fouls on Jones and 2 on Williams, so Dick Versace's centers have picked up 5, and I wonder if he'll go to Keith Berry now.
Jones and Santos have been doing a lot of hugging and slugging inside. They're both going to be very tired when this night is over. Now Dick Versace, as we look to the second half, is going to have a bit of a problem. Williams 2 fouls, Jones 3 fouls. Keith Berry really doesn't play that much, and I'm sure Dick might be reluctant to put him into a game this tight.
Santos, a 65% foul shooter, is 5 out of 6 tonight. That's quite a little bit better than that. Missed that one. Bradley has it, and the lead by 4 with 1 minute to go in an exciting first half. This should be a pip in the second half. Les, all the way. Out of bounds to the Braves. Les has gone the whole distance for the Shockers. 54. Ted Williams. He's a 6'10" freshman from Chester, Pennsylvania, and a good one.
They're changing numbers on us. Maybe took a page out of Trevor Trippy's biography.
He's going to be a good one, according to the Wichita State people. Inside Hawkins, spinning, score! Percy Hawkins put the electricity to that one. Bradley, 36-30. 35 seconds, and now Gene Smithson knows one time is all they need to shoot. Hawkins with 13 in the game to lead all scorers. Bradley stays zone. Santos directs some traffic. I think they call Ted Williams Theodore, he goes by. Gene Smithson kneeling just to our right.
They call him big. There's like a lot of guys on this team.
This is the biggest team Bradley's played this year. 7 seconds. Fire. No. Rebound to Bradley. They've got time for a shot. 2. Hawkins. No good. We've played 1 half of Missouri Valley Conference basketball in Wichita, Kansas at Henry Levitt Arena. The score, the Braves of Bradley, 36. The Shockers of Wichita, 30.
The new birth control pill, how it differs from the old pill, and why it's sure to heighten the battle between pro-life and pro-choice evidence on the next Donahue. Tomorrow. H&R Block found Fong Huan a tax refund of $583.
I couldn't have done it without you.
H&R Block found Mike Monaco $2,498.
Couldn't have done it without you. We're pledged to finding you the biggest refund you're entitled to. This year, let H&R Block do your taxes. Get back everything you've got coming.
I couldn't have done it without you.
H&R Block, where more Americans find a bigger refund.
What can we find for you?
Cohen's repeats a sellout, an outstanding triple value from Cohen's, a complete waterbed, your choice queen or king size, plus a 13-inch RCA remote control color track color TV, plus an RCA video cassette recorder with infrared remote control. All 3 just $9.99, and Cohen's gift to you is this cordless Freedom phone, $129 value free, and there's no interest and no payments till April, a repeat of a sellout, plus no interest and no payments till April at Cohen's. Offer ends Monday.
Carlton Fisk catches some big money after the game. This 25 Sports Exclusive is brought to you in part by Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet. By Cohen's, downstate Illinois' largest home furnisher. And by North Point Video in Peoria and Plaza Video in Morton.
Okay, Peoria, you wanted 1-hour service, you got it at Weiser Eye Care. No extra fees, no higher costs. Just ask for special service and your glasses will be ready in about an hour in most cases.
And with that special 1-hour service, you still get the best value for your money, plus the quality and professionalism you've come to trust. Wilsers has it all.
Where you'll get more than I care. Because I care.
And I care.
And I care.
Wisers, I care.
Trusted since 1898.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight?
Rob, when you get a chance. So, you gonna call her? I'm thinking about it. 2 Coors Light, Rob. What's there to think about? Call her. I said I might. Arnold, there were 100 guys in here last night, and she talked to you. Jack, I was sitting on her coat. It's a very unique approach. Give me the quarter. Rob, you got a quarter?
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
Complete school closing information, expanded News 25 Today reports, and live updates all morning from throughout Central Illinois. Rest assured. Wake up to News 25 Winter Watch.
At Henry Levitt Arena in Wichita, Frank Missoni and Mike Dimmick. And every time we come to this arena, we look forward to it because of the atmosphere, because of the crowd and the band and the enthusiasm of the teams. And we're not disappointed again tonight, Mike. 36-30 Bradley, anybody's game.
We thought we were getting into a blowout at the very beginning when Bradley came out and Hersey Hawkins was scoring and they got out to a 9-2 lead. Really surprised a couple of guys in particular. Henry Carr, most people thought he was just going to die on the bench for the rest of the year. He has a lot of problems on offense. He got some baskets, got 5 points, and it was really a force on defense, and I thought he really kept them in it.
He really did, and one thing you got to remember is he did a lot of his work when 6'8", 255-pound Mike Williams got his second foul, and Dick Versace didn't want Mike to get his third, so Greg Jones came in and gave Bradley a good lift in the first half. But Hersey Hawkins once again leads the Braves in scoring. He has 13 points, but he's also got 2 fouls, and this game's a quick tempo game. The 45-second clock is in effect, and you know that when the clock wasn't in effect, in one game last year, Boston College threw 44 bounce passes in one series down the court. That doesn't happen anymore. So there are more fouls called and more points scored, and you have to worry about those kinds of things. How deep is this Bradley team, and how deep will they have to go?
And that's what we're going to have to look at in the second half. Trevor Trimpe went out with 3 fouls. Greg Jones, who did such a good job, but he's got 3 fouls. Williams with 2, Hawkins with 2. We'll be watching all those players in the second half and see if the Braves get into trouble.
And remember, no Bruce Mordini. Here's a guy 6'7", 6'8", and about 220. He can lay a body on you out there. And in a game like this tonight, I'll bet Bruce Mordini would be getting some minutes if he was healthy. But he's not, and Bruce is going to miss this year. But he'll have eligibility starting again next year, and we wish Bruce Mordini a fast recovery too. We're going to come back at the arena here in Kansas with Bradley leading by 6. But right now, we've got a message from our friends on the Hilltop.
To those who know Bradley best, high-quality, strong, individualized teaching continues to be Bradley's first priority. It's what alumni remember best and what students expect. To the rest of the world, the quality of Bradley's faculty is measured by such quantifiable criteria as degrees held, research projects, and publication. The Bradley faculty rank high by any standards. 75% of Bradley's 300 full-time faculty members hold the doctorate or other appropriate terminal degree. Additionally, Bradley faculty annually bring into Peoria over $1 million in outside financing through research and sponsored programs. Excellence in teaching and research is recognized by the Bradley community at the annual Founders Day convocation. Dr. Merrill Foster of the Department of Geology was the 1985 recipient of the Rothberg Professional Excellence Award. The award, established by honorary trustee Samuel Rothberg, was designed to recognize outstanding achievement in research and creativity and carries with it a $1,000 stipend and the Rothberg Medallion.
Since 1957, the generosity of Charles Putnam has enabled Bradley to publicly recognize an individual who personifies our institution's commitment to the highest standards of undergraduate teaching. Since its inception, there have been 27 recipients of the Putnam Award for Excellence in Teaching. The individual to be recognized today is truly a worthy addition to that list.
The name which was added to that list was that of Dr. Robert Scott of the Department of Economics. What does receiving the Putnam Award mean to the recipient? Here's Dr. Joe Emanuel of the Department of Industrial Engineering.
Receiving the Putnam Award more than anything else is a recognition not only by your peers but also by the students, because I know what went into to putting the nomination together in this case, but a recognition that you've been able to have a real impact on a student's education, that the techniques and methods that you're trying to accomplish in class really have achieved something, and that the students really do leave with a much better preparation for that first job than they would have in a normal situation.
But more than preparing students to live productive and useful lives, Bradley faculty have through the years opened the minds and hearts of students to learning and service, and by their precept and example have established for successive generations respect for living with purpose and character, now and in the future.
The new birth control pill, how it differs from the old pill, and why it's sure to heighten the battle between pro-life and pro-choice advocates on the next Donahue. Tomorrow.
Let's all be there, weekday afternoons on TV 25. Once a week is never enough. Relive the saga of the Carringtons and the Colbys when Dynasty shows how the other half lives at 3. The Battle of the Sexes continues at 4 when Chuck Woolery makes the dates on Love Connection. 4:30 is time to come on down for Central Illinois' winningest half hour. The stakes are high and the price is right on TV's longest-running excitement showcase. Let's all be there on TV 25 every weekday afternoon.
Bradley leading Wichita State 36-30 at halftime as the Braves try to improve their ranking 19th in the nation. The record is 13-1. The blemish on the record, Mike, was in Hawaii.
To Clemson, which turns out to be a pretty darn good team. Unfortunately, they're in the ACC. Now Bradley has a real challenge, though. Tonight, they're in the middle of one. They go on to Drake. Gary Garner has a good team this year. They gave ISU some trouble,
yes.
And he's a good coach and always has a well-coached team. Then on to Dayton with one of the good coaches in all of America, Don Donaher. So the Braves have a lot in front of them in the next 3 games.
Donaher has been at Dayton about 21 years, and he's done a marvelous job. He plays a good schedule. He plays the DePauls and people, and he'll be ready for Bradley when they get into Dayton shortly. Bradley and Wichita State had a very even halftime. When we see the shots attempted, it'll be very even. I think the rebounds will be dead even. I think there'll be a couple of deciding factors that will turn this game in the second half. A, does Hersey Hawkins stay out of foul trouble and get to play? B, does Mike Williams get to do that?
And the irony could be 2 poor foul shooting teams might get into a game that'll come down to foul shooting. Somebody might win it by finally having a good night.
Really could be true. And Bradley still has a couple of players on the bench that they could turn to for a lift that they didn't get in the first half. Anthony Manuel and Keith Berry and Paul Wilson, none played in the first half. Of course, Mordini's not along on the trip as a medical redshirt. We're going to go back right now to the TV 25 studios, and standing by with some sports update there is Lee Hall.
Illinois State has the night off, but you can bet Bob Donowall's Redbird team's taking notes on Wichita State tonight. The Birds follow Bradley to Wichita this Saturday. ISU in the middle of a three-game road trip, too, just like the Braves. While the Birds are scribbling, everybody else is dribbling. Tulsa coming back from an opening Valley loss. That's at the half. Drake leading Southern Illinois at the half as well. West Texas leading in the second period. And the one you're watching now, Bradley trying for win number 14. The Braves running away from Wichita early as we go to the highlights. Hersey Hawkins coming up here on the break scores Bradley's 12th straight point on the dunk. A big Shocker lineup, not hurting the Braves too much so far. Donald Powell with the move and the follow inside. The Bradley lead is 10 right there. The Braves run and then turns wild. Mike Williams goes into his Jim McMahon impersonation deep to the Hawk for the completion, but Wichita comes up with the ball. Williams tries impersonating Bear defensive back Gary Fensick here. He intercepts deep again to the Hawk for the completion. It's blocked this time, and then it's the Bradley Braves shuffle. Powell loses it inside, and then the fumbling finally ends. Hawk gets the basket, and Wichita State coming back. Bradley leads by 6. at the half. On to the Big Ten. Illinois couldn't knock off Michigan last night. These Big Ten teams trying to stay close to the Wolverines. Purdue a winner. Indiana leading Northwestern by a bunch at the half. Wisconsin by 4 at home against the Buckeyes. Top 20, North Carolina an easy winner. This one early on, we don't have the score up there for you. Georgia Tech and Rutgers 10-10 in the first half. Elsewhere in the Metro Conference, we don't have this one on the board for you either. Louisville leads Memphis State 37-36 at the half. Alabama leading in the second half. UNLV and Pacific late start on the coast. UAB a winner by 2 in overtime. DePaul trying to regain its good name. Things a little sloppy at the Rosemont, but the Demons need enough to lead. Marty Embry scoring underneath. The Blue Demons lead Pepperdine by 19 at the half. On to hockey, the Rivermen in Milwaukee trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Old teammate Brad Kempthorne given a hand. He's rejoined the team for a 5-game tryout, and it looks like Brad's helping things out. Rivermen leading by 4 in the second period, not the second half. NHL tonight, first place Chicago takes the night off. St. Louis leads at Boston. The score there also 5-1. That one in the third period. And in football, Bears coach Mike Ditka says if the Bears beat the Rams this Sunday, Chicago will practice at the University of Illinois facility down in Champaign. Mark Strauss has all the sports coming up after the game. Here's Mac for what's coming up in news.
Thanks, Lee. And in the headlines today, Libya, President Reagan, and the sanctions.
Caterpillar Tractor Company is saying the sanctions imposed by the president won't be effective unless European nations go along with them. Congressman Bob Michael agrees. And to get that kind of agreement from America's allies, Secretary of State Schultz is sending an envoy to Europe to try and convince them to go along. Libya's Gaddafi, meanwhile, seems to have changed his tune. Western diplomats who met with him last night say Gaddafi denounced the terrorists in Rome and Vienna as mad. He's also pledged to work against terrorism. Ohio Senator Howard Metzenbaum, however, today suggested that if Gaddafi was responsible for terrorist attacks, he ought to be assassinated. In other news, a poll shows 1/3 of Americans surveyed think they can get AIDS from giving blood. And Grammy Award nominees were named today. We'll run down the list.
We'll return to Wichita and second half action right after these messages.
Inventory times discount divided by the square root of clearance equals incredible savings for you.
Yes, TV and Stereo Town's January clearance sale means you get savings at up to 40% off on color TVs, microwaves, audio, and video equipment. Big savings in every department, in every store.
Remember the law of relativity. Unless you got a relative in the business, you better get to this clearance sale.
Don't miss TV and Stereo Town's January clearance sale.
This class is perhaps the greatest discovery of the 25th century. A dwelling called the split-level ranch. Marvelous.
What's this, Professor?
Ah, a spherical object. These are held in each other with great velocity.
Professor, what's this? What is it?
I've no idea. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Central Illinois' #1 talk and information program has joined Central Illinois' #1 news and information station. Let's all be there for Donahue, weekday mornings at 9 on TV 25.
Wichita State remains the gang that couldn't shoot straight.
It's a town that couldn't see straight either.
36.7% for the Shockers in the first half on 11 of 30 shooting. Bradley had 12 of 30 for 40%. Free throwing, the Braves much better. 12 of 16, 75%. Wichita State 8 of 13. That's only 61%. Mike, the rebounds are about even too.
We talked about it at halftime. Big difference. Henry Carr, 7 rebounds, 5 points. And also Curtis Bailey coming off the bench for 6. Gene Smithson getting some production and staying in the game with the bench. Bradley end of it. Hawk had 13, most of them early. Greg Jones coming in with 6 points. Mike Williams also had 6 in only 9 minutes. He got 2 fast fouls and sat out the rest. We'll have to keep an eye on him and Trimpe and Jones.
Les shot 1 for 6. Hawkins 5 for 12. Williams was 2 for 2 from the field, 2 for 2 from the foul line, 4 rebounds, 6 points, but he also picked up 2 quick fouls. All right, he is back. The starting lineup is back for Bradley. It is not the starting lineup for the Shockers because Henry Carr, who earned it, is there. He played 11 minutes and got 7 rebounds. Bradley plays zone.
Cedric Coleman, number 11, also in the lineup. He didn't start.
Bradley, 36-30 lead. Lob inside, stolen by the Braves.
Bad decision by Cundiff.
Man-to-man for the Shockers. I don't think it's a junk defense. We'll watch it. They might be shadowing Hawk with a second man. We'll see.
Nobody's on Hawk right now.
That's a bad sign for Wichita. Powell fakes and goes. Didn't fall. Coleman a rebound. Wichita State hepped up. The crowd standing. They don't lose much here. Smithson's 102-17 at home. Lost 8 games here in the last 4 years. Radunovich is 45. That's Cundiff 21. Inside Henry Carr. Turns, puts it up. No. 2 slaps at it, out of bounds to the Shockers.
Frank, that time when Carr went inside, Mike Williams didn't seem real aggressive as Carr went to him and Mike just stood there.
I don't think Mike wants to get that third foul right quick and then have to come sit down again. But you have to play as if you don't have fouls. Santos and Coleman and the State Shockers keep it. They're trying to get within 4 of Bradley. Cundiff fires. Foul on Santos on the rebound. Physical game. Jones is in for the Braves already.
Interesting lineup now. Mike Williams, Greg Jones inside. I like to see somebody get inside of them.
That's bookends. Trempe comes up at a weak 211.
That's a library.
Trempe's free and didn't take the shot. Williams wants the ball on the low block. Hawkins got it. Oh, what a move. Body control. The man hit him. He released. It went in. Got the foul.
Well, he continues to amaze. You see the mascot say the same thing. Hawkins just hanging around getting his points. He seems to get near his career high almost every time he comes out. It's 27.
You cannot teach that, what Hawkins just did. Hang in the air. The man hits you, then release. He's snapping at the heels of some of America's great players. Hawkins puts it home. Bradley by 9, and just like that, the sophomore from Westinghouse turns the game to Bradley's favor. Nice bounce pass to the driving Santos. That is a textbook Gene Smithson fast break. Bradley tries at the other end. Will Bradley throw a lob tonight against this tall timber? Inside Williams is fouled from behind by Henry Carr. And Henry Carr made a face like someone just run over his foot with a truck.
Well, if that was Mike Williams, he would have made a face like that. Carr will go out.
Carr goes out, 6'9". Askew in, 7 foot, 240.
We're just 2 minutes into this one. That's already 3 team fouls on Wichita.
Mike Jones barges in. Askew rebounds and blows the ball up to half court. Askew looks like he could throw the ball out of the building.
Askew and Jones.
Bradley stays zoned. Coleman drills it. First 2 for Cedric Coleman. It's a 5-point game. This one will go down to the wire, most likely. Trempe left wing. Bradley's in a 1-4 set. Low. Williams missed. Trempe rebounds, steps in, missed that. And another foul. Well, these teams, when they're healthy, have waves of able bodies, but tonight they may have to go very deep with the foul problems that are developing.
Against this big Wichita team, Trevor Trempe really becomes an asset. He led the Braves in rebounding in the first half. That time you saw him come in and get in there for the rebound.
Curtis Bailey in. You'll save up to 40% and more on selected items from every department at Cohen's, plus no interest and no payments till April during Cohen's January clearance sale. Trempe, 55% foul shooter, missed.
Oh, the Braves back from Hawaii. I feel like we're doing a Beach Boys concert. Everybody's looking so fit and trim and tan.
They really are. Missed a pair. Free throws.
Nobody wanted that ball that time.
Shooting a free throw is like being on an island. You can see you, but nobody can help you. And it's there alone. Coleman tries again. Williams, a horse on the boards, fell down and walked. He got the rebound in good position, but he just fell down.
Like he got his feet tangled a little bit with Santos. Santos got out all right. Mike had to go down with the travel.
Tipped away by Greg Jones. The official you see under the basket is Ron Zetcher. You've seen him if you've watched games around the Missouri Valley Conference for a long time. And Rich Eichhorst the other. Cundiff right side.
Bradley will stay in the zone. Wichita has not proved that it can shoot Bradley out of that zone.
They like the transition game. They like to get it going helter-skelter. Inside pass stolen by Williams, and Bradley runs. Hawkins ahead of the crowd, stripped by Cundiff. A brilliant play by Gary Cundiff.
One point guard outdoes the other. Jimmy with a nice-looking pass, but Cundiff got back on the transition and knocked it out of Hawks' hands.
9 turnovers on the Shockers. Here's the long pass into Les. He muscled that one away from Cundiff. He's got it back. Big Mike. That's a deuce.
Gene Smithson, just a few feet away from us, was screaming for a travel that time.
8 points for Williams. Bradley by 7. 16:22 to play. It's 41-34, the Braves. They've led throughout.
I thought in the first half, Wichita State got back into it by looking to Santos more. Let's see if they do it again.
Greg Jones looking like the guy that Bradley's turning to more as a sixth-man role. Inside stolen by Trempe. Hawk tried to get it. Coleman does.
The clock is down to 9. Let's see if they remember this time.
Shot by Coleman. No. Rebound, yes. Askew. John Askew.
Santos limping up the court. You see him there getting into the middle. Somebody stepped on his foot when the ball went through.
Askew has 5, the 7-footer. He's had 11 in his last couple of games. Greg Jones fakes him and shoots, missed. Rebound, Cundiff running. Bradley's 5 ahead, but Wichita State with the ball.
They're going to have to get Santos out of there. He's really slow coming down.
Cundiff is free. Boom. Missed off the iron. Santos. Trempe that time. Physical game. A lot of bodies banging inside. Inside, Jones is fouled. Well, he got that ball, and it was a hot potato right to the basket.
Jones is getting real good position inside. The last couple of times, though, he's throwing up some bricks. He's just going up a little too hard. That time he got some help from the back, too, on Askew. Santos, I think, will come out here, and Sasha Radunovich will be back into the game.
Sasha Radunovich. Sounds like gymnastics. 23 is John Askew. Largest person in the building.
Never thought I'd say that when I was in the same building with Mike Williams either.
Free throw is good by Greg Jones. Jones, 7 in the game. 5 of 7 at the foul line. 6 out of 8. He's given Bradley a nice lift. He's a sophomore. 6'5" out of Chicago Robeson. Bradley, 43. Wichita State, 36. Radunovich threw it away. Oh, and he's a little upset. He thought it went off one of the Bradley players.
He's gonna keep arguing and not win. That time Radunovich did a textbook case out to blow a 3-on-1.
Well, with 14:55 to go, Bradley has a 7-point lead. Wichita State's played more man-to-man tonight than I thought. Hawkins hanging. He just drained Jay.
Something else Hawk is getting better at. Getting his shot. He got up the baseline, quick head and shoulders fake, and then hung when the defense came to him.
How many points do you think you at home Hawkins has? Now just think about it for a minute. Think Hawkins, how many? 18. 18. We've got 14 and a half to play. There's timeout on the court. Bradley's leading 45-36, and we'll be back at Henry Levitt Arena in a moment.
Now at Cohen's, 25-inch RCA XL100 color consoles with remote control. Traditional pecan, country pine, or contemporary oak. You choose the style. RCA and Cohen's guarantee the quality. Your choice. RCA XL100 color consoles with remote control, just $569 at Cohen's. That's right, just $569. And you get all the most wanted features. Channel lock, scan, remote control, quartz crystal tuning, and your choice of cabinetry. It's Cohen's for the latest from RCA.
It used to be that North Point Video had the largest selection of name-brand TVs and video equipment. It used to be that North Point Video had thousands of video movies to choose from. And it used to be that North Point was a little cramped for space. So now North Point is growing, moving to an expanded location in North Point Plaza. In addition to video, we'll carry a full line of appliances, names like Amana, Maytag, Whirlpool, and Tappan. North Point Video, we're not what we used to be. We're better.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight?
So now it's third down. Coach wants me to call a quarterback draw.
2 Coors Lights, bud.
So before I can do anything, I get blindsided by this lineman named Everett. We called him the Mount.
Mount Everett.
This guy was so bad, he knocked me straight into bartender.
Yeah, well, he could never be the bartender that you are, Rob.
That's true. But he could be the bar.
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light Beer. Love Connection, weekdays at 4 on TV 25.
Is 4. 14:31 remains in Bradley's first road game in the conference. You see the score, a 9-point lead. And we'd like to remind you who's helping you bring this game. Coors Light, Cohen's, North Point, and Plaza Video Stores. Thank you for your cooperation and your support. Bailey shoots. Hawkins rebounds. Bradley, a 9-point lead at Wichita. They're playing with Hawkins, Les, Williams. Trempy is back in for Powell, and Jones. Greg Jones played a lot of time here in this game, giving Bradley a big game.
Wichita still working the man-to-man. Let's see if they look. They're going to have to hold the ball before they look for Hawk.
Radunovich on the scoot. He can handle the ball a little bit. We haven't seen much of it tonight. He's at the high post now. Bailey gives it to him. Fade. Not there. Tipped out of bounds by Hawkins.
This is definitely a formidable rebounding crew the Braves have in right now with Jones, Williams, Trempy, and the Hawk. We have a final in the Valley. Drake over Southern, 88-76.
Radunovich scores inside. Bradley by 7. 5 for Radunovich. 13:26 to play. Les is in trouble. Trempy helps. Bradley flashes men off the post. Trempy sends it across to Les. Les has it stolen. Radunovich on the move. Here he comes. All the way for 2.
Mentioned it just a minute ago. He's a good ball handler, and that was quite a show with the ball. Good crossover dribble, got him the lay-in.
6'9", 225. Not a lot of guys can do that. But as we said, he's the son of a coach. He was a guard up to 6'6". He's accustomed to handling the ball. Now Wichita State's within 5 again. Into the game, Henry Carr with 4 personal fouls, and Donald Powell comes on for Bradley. Bailey out, Greg Jones out.
Bradley getting good performances tonight from many people. Greg Jones, Hersey Hawkins. We'll name a Bradley player of the game from Plaza Video. That'll be named a little bit later. Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund. We'll be back in a minute.
Brown Sporting Goods has hundreds of great fitness items at low prices. Brown's has made a special purchase on the popular Arkla Family Gym, only $99.88 for the complete system. More than 70 exercises can be performed. The Arkla Gym uses your weight as resistance. You sit or lay on a comfortable glider board that glides up and down. Brown's has fitness equipment for the entire family, from jump ropes to complete home systems, all at big discounts. Check out the low prices and the area's largest selection at Brown Sporting Goods.
Hey, Mr. Versace, want some kitchen cooked potato chips?
Nah, no thanks, kid.
But They're the greatest, Mr. Versace, just like your team.
Hey, you're all right, kid.
Thanks, Coach.
Kitchen-cooked potato chips are kettle-cooked for a hearty potato flavor the whole family will enjoy.
And I wouldn't do this commercial if I didn't eat kitchen-cooked potato chips. They're the greatest.
Kitchen-cooked potato chips and snacks, available at your grocer's.
Aging, just as important to beer as it is to wine. Aging gives beer something called balance. Just the right combination of flavors and aromas. Of course, thinks that aging is so important, they age their beer longer than any other major brewer. They use the time to age out a lot of the heaviness, a lot of the bitter aftertaste you'll find in many other beers. So when you want a beer that's a little smoother, but with all the spirit of a great beer, Coors is the one.
The Price is Right, weekdays at 4:30 on TV 25.
Here back in Wichita as you get another look at Sasha Radunovich and the nice basket he made a few moments ago. We also want to remind you while you're watching that the Bradley bus leaves Malnati's Pizzeria for Carver Arena every home game day. There's Bradley memorabilia on board, free beverages to make the ride a little more enjoyable. It's all brought to you by TV 25, Malnati's, Coors Beer, and GP Transit. 682-0463, the number to call for tickets.
45, Bradley. 40, Wichita State. 12:47 to play. A long time. Les double teamed in the corner. Ball to the Braves. Very physical. Shooting, second half. Bradley, 37% from the field. Wichita, 37% from the field. Rebounds, 4 for Bradley, 7 for the Shockers. The Braves throw it away. Are we having fun yet?
I don't know. I looked down at Dick Versace and he doesn't seem to be enjoying it right now.
8 turnovers on the Braves. The crowd is into it, I'll tell you. This one would really bring them. Cundiff. 45-42. It's early, but the intensity is building.
That was a big defensive sequence on the other end by Wichita.
Sometimes watch Les how low he dribbles and how brilliantly he handles the ball. All the time he's got it, how few times he turns it over. A point guard is a treasure in basketball. Few find them. Bradley has one.
Look at this defense. This is man-to-man, folks. They are really sticking to him.
12 on the shot clock, and Trempe doesn't know it. Les looks. 9. Trempe fires. Good.
And that was a big basket with all the pressure Wichita's putting on right now. Trempe with his first 2 of the night.
He's just a few days away from his 20th birthday, and he'd celebrate early with that one. Santos in the corner. Bradley throws up his own. These teams are making it tough to punch the ball inside. Santos outside, Coleman inside. That's the switch. 11:19 to play. This time the shot clock comes to 15. Both teams taking a little time off the clock, each time down. It's because I think the defense is pretty good.
Yeah, it's been very good. They're going to have to get it up.
Cundiff wheels. Radunovich, a nice rebound. Coleman finds him inside. Good interior pass, but Powell picked it off. I don't think Carr was ready for it. Hawkins. Charging. That hurt the Braves. That's number 3 on the Hawk.
I think all 3 have come on charges. Watch him go, and boy, that does not look like a real good call. He was still sliding as Hawk went to the baseline. He makes those moves so fast that sometimes I think officials just didn't even see him.
Steve Grayer, 20, checks into the Shocker lineup. The 6'8 freshman is in. Coleman is out.
Here's a look at the Hawk. 3 personals. Jones has 3. Trempe has 3. Nobody in dire straits yet.
That's Grayer, the 6'8 freshman there. Silky smooth. Radunovich. Lost out of bounds. Williams had it, dropped it out of bounds. Wichita keeps it. Moments of frustration for coaches on both ends. It was Barry Switzer who said, coaching is like a terminal disease. Sooner or later, it'll get you. But these guys have had a lot of success, and they're still up racing around.
And it didn't get Switzer this season.
Oh, no. What a year he had, huh? Look at Grayer. The guards keep getting bigger. 10-15 left in the game. Grayer's got some range out there. He can shoot that shot. So can Cundiff.
Cundiff, another one of the guys we didn't expect to have a real big game, has come out with 8 and done a pretty good job running the show as well.
He's 4 for 7 from the field. Cundiff is slicing through. Bradley called for walking. No. We were blocked out of the play because Jerry Thomas stood up in front of us. It's a foul on the Shockers. The foul is on Carr, and he's out of the game. That's why you hear the boos. Henry Carr has fouled out of the game, and that hurts Wichita State because he played very well tonight. That's the best I've seen Henry Carr play.
He really has. You can see the pain on his face as he walks by us. You can see the pain and the anger in the eyes of the Wichita fans. I wouldn't be surprised if Carr didn't think there was just the travel and didn't even think about the foul that much.
Well, the Wichita players were all signaling travel, and so that's what I thought when Jerry Thomas stood up. Carr had 5 points, 8 rebounds in the game, 8 boards. This is Powell. Bradley's lead is a skinny 3 with 9:54 left. Bradley trying to make their record 14-1. No. The Shockers could cut it to 1. Deja vu. We've done this before.
We do it every game, seemingly.
With the certainty of Halley's Comet comes the close game. Skip pass. Grayer missed. Hawkins rebounds. I think Hawkins needs to get back in Bradley's offense.
That'll be the one Jim Les to set some plays up and start looking for him.
Williams missed. He missed the layup. And Grayer might have got away with a walk.
And other games going on. Tulsa demolished Creighton 85-59 tonight.
Radunovich is blocked away by the Braves. Hawkins swirling on the drive. Donald Powell. And Santos is on the board. 8:50 to go. Bradley by 3.
Couple sloppy sequences, and Gene Smithson, Rick Shore, one of the assistants, both hold their hands up and say, let's work the offense.
Cundiff fires. Les rebounds. He wasn't quite set. Les pushes it up 3-on-3. Hawkins!
One of the best offenses you can find. Jimmy Les, Hersey Hawkins on the break, make it 2-0-20 for the Hawks.
Wow. A score out of West Texas.
44-24, 20-point lead. As you see Askew with the basket, 20-point lead for West Texas State there in the second half. Gary Moss has got showtime in high gear down in West Texas.
Bradley is leading by 3 points as the clock moves to the 8-minute mark in the game. We knew he'd have a tight one. Here comes the Hawk again to Les on a pop. Nice rebound, Radunovich, and he's been a force since Carr's gone out. Sasha Radunovich, the sophomore from Titograd, Yugoslavia, wants to fire the Shockers within 1.
They still have not shot well from the outside. Bradley will stay in the zone.
Trempy at the point. Santos is fouled, and it's in the act. Jerry Thomas for Bradley is on. Powell gets a rest. Coleman for the Shockers. Grayer goes out.
Grayer is going to be a heck of a player. He's already very good, but he's only a freshman, and his shot has not been very impressive in this game, nor in the season. Grayer only shooting 43% from the field.
Now there's a timeout on the floor. 7:29 to go. Bradley by 3, and we'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Television as you've never seen it before. Over 100 channels of satellite TV entertainment is awaiting you at Energy Systems. All over the Tri-County area, you see where Energy Systems has become the dealer with price, selection, and service of Radex satellite dishes. This mesh satellite dish is made by Radex to blend with the environment, and Energy Systems offers a range of Uniden receivers, from the economical Uniden 1000 to the full stereo sound of the Uniden 7000. Energy Systems on Farmington Road, Peoria. New from Chaz's Crispy Chicken on Sterling Avenue, a buffet like you've never seen before. Not only Chaz's famous crispy chicken is on the buffet, but pizza piled with cheese and extras. Crunchy fish sticks, oriental chow mein and steamy rice, crisp onion rings, spaghetti and rich meat sauce, cheese nachos, over 50 items including salad bar and vegetables, and Chaz's own cinnamon fritters and buttermilk biscuits. Chaz's Crispy Chicken and Chaz's new buffet, only at the Sterling Avenue location.
Now, at Cohen's, the newest touch-control microwave from Amana. Save space and enjoy big cooking convenience with easy-to-operate electronic touch controls. Amana's conveniently sized, lightweight, touch-controlled microwave. Just $189 at Cohen's. That's right, $189 for an Amana microwave with 9 cooking speeds, easy touch controls, and a free cookbook. It's Cohen's for the latest from Amana.
Dynasty, weekdays at 3 on TV 25.
Frank Bissoni and Mike Dimmick back at Levitt Arena in Wichita. And Mike, one of the reasons that Wichita has been able to cut Bradley's 6-point halftime lead in half with 7:29 to go is that they've out-rebounded Bradley rather resoundingly this half.
12-6, the difference in the second half on the board. Santos has done a real good job. But Carr was doing a real good job, and he fouled out. These two teams have been slugging it out with each other. Bradley right now is kind of winning that battle. They have 3 players with 3 fouls. Trempy, Jones, and one other, and suddenly it escapes me. Who's the other one? Williams, I think, with 3 fouls.
Santos missed it. He has 9, and he's Wichita's leading scorer. Greg Jones with 8 is Bradley's second leading scorer, and Hersey, of course, with 20, leads the Braves. That one's down. Now it's 49-47 Bradley. Illinois State plays here in a couple of nights. Trempy wing. Mike Williams. Nice touch.
Silence the crowd. We really haven't heard that much from Mike. 10 points. He only played 9 minutes in the first half when he got 2 fouls.
There's 10,386 paid here tonight, and they're watching a honey of a game. Cundiff on the right wing looks inside. Askew, the 7-footer, is low. Radunovic comes up high. He's a very active player, mobile.
Wichita, I think, has done a better job in the second half of being patient and trying to get a good shot. Their percentage is still not real good, but they are being cautious.
Shot clock's at 10. Radunovic, no. Tip, no. Rebound, Williams. Not the best shot selection in town. Jerry Thomas holds out high. Bradley runs a low 1-4. Mike Williams steps in and shoots. He made a quick move to the goal that time and got fouled. Askew got him. And once again, it's going to come down to can Bradley make the important free throws.
I think Askew's gone. That might be his 5th as you take another look. Quick pass inside. Quick move by Mike. Done a good job to get to the line. That must be 4 on Askew. Before they said he had 4. They're having some problems at courtside here deciding who's got how many fouls. Askew's still in the game, so we'll assume he's fine.
Williams with 12 points. Now 3 out of 3 in the game. Foul shooting. 3 out of 4. Bradley by 4. 6:15 to go. That's quite a bit of time. Lots can happen. Santos came outside to get the ball. They want it in his hands. And Gene Smithson wants to talk it over. Timeout with 6:04 to play. And Bradley's leading by 4 points. All kinds of things to think about now. Some of them include the strategy that Bradley will employ, knowing that Carr has fouled out of the game, and Radunovic is a very active player who's liable to foul inside. On the other hand, Bradley doesn't shoot free throws all that well unless it's Hawkins or less, and so does Bradley drive to the basket with some of them. Will they set up some plays for Hersey Hawkins? And will Bradley also take 35, 40 seconds off the clock each time?
I'm sure Dick Versace would like not necessarily to take 35 or 40, but to take the time and get the good shots. They really haven't run all that many plays for Hawkins here in the second half. We'll probably see more of that. If you're wondering about depth, we've already seen Carr go out of the game, so there's one center fouling out. Askew, we believe, have 4 fouls. He's seemingly had 4 fouls for about 10 minutes here while fouling people, but he is still in the game. After that, you got to go to Ted Williams, who is the freshman. TV 25, WIRL Radio, and TWA have put together a TV lovers trip to New York City. Our winner and a guest will be there for the tapings of Donahue, Late Night with David Letterman, and The Cosby Show, with transportation provided by TWA. You'll want to watch Donahue tomorrow morning, and then listen to WIRL between 10 and 2 to register. And we are ready to go.
Wichita with the ball. They trail by 4, 6 minutes left. Interesting that Dick Versace showing confidence in Jerry Thomas, who's only shot 4 of his last 19. He's in the game with the game on the line.
And we should also say Jerry has not been a very good foul shooter either, but he can get the ball in the hoop.
Strip. Ball on the floor. Stolen by Williams. Bodies hit on the floor, no whistle. Williams had it. Now a whistle and a foul. It's on Gus Santos. Santos has had 9 in the game, 5 out of 7 at the foul line.
Now the Braves will get the bonus for the remainder of the game, or of the second half, if the case should be different. Bradley, however, has committed only 3 team fouls.
0 for 3 for Trempe at the free throw line. And with a 4-point lead and 5:23, those free throws start to mount up. That was a 1 and bonus.
Line is still proving to be a big problem for the Braves. It's funny, we watched him shoot a lot of free throws at practice today, but they shoot them well during practice.
Askew's inside. Cundiff's outside. Yes. Gary Cundiff, who also plays baseball, shot that one in. 51-49. We're under 5 minutes. They're not going to guard Thomas out on the court. They will guard Hawkins and less. Hersey charging. 4 fouls on Hersey Hawkins.
Well, tonight, Hersey Hawkins has got a charge account. This is his 4th. And they are definitely looking for him on those plays. So the first Brave and the most important Brave in big foul trouble. And you see Dick Versace say 4 charges. And he said it with disbelief.
Cundiff comes to the left. The Shockers shoot for a tie. Radunovic. The game is tied at 4:32. Listen to the crowd. Shockers stay man-to-man. They have fought it back all the way. They were down by as many as 11. Jerry Thomas is free. Missed it.
Gene Smithson got exactly what he wanted on that play. They're hardly guarding Jerry Thomas, and they won't mind if he keeps taking the shots.
Bradley stays zone with Trempe up top. Donald Powell checks at the scorer's table. Sasha Radunovic, 45, tied the game. Now Cundiff, who's played far better than I think even Gene Smithson hoped he would, has a chance to give the Wichita State Shockers the lead in the game. 3.5 to play. Cundiff, go! Wichita by 2. Williams missed the layup, but he was fouled. It was all but down. The foul was on Askew. Powell is in. Thomas is out for Bradley.
Mike Williams coming across to get the pass. Askew really wasn't ready for him and wasn't in position, and now finally he will foul out. The Braves have fouled 2 centers out.
That's it. Foul is on Askew, number 5. The 7-foot 240 center is gone.
And now the Braves are back on the line, and they have really let Wichita get back into it by not hitting on the line. Mike Williams missed his last 2.
Askew went out with 7. Curtis Bailey, a 6'9 sophomore, replaced him. Another missed free throw by Bradley. 3 of 6 for Williams at the line. Bradley is within 1 and pressing at 3:10.
They showed the zone press. Now they'll back up.
Wow.
Braves have been in a zone just about the entire game, and Wichita finally has shot over it.
Wichita may go to a zone with a lead. You never know. Gene Smithson prefers man-to-man. Trempy's out at the point. Bradley mixes up their defenses, does a lot of things inside. 2:44 left. Wichita State leads by 1, has the ball.
We haven't heard much from Santos. We might see him here. 44. Mike Williams is next to him right now.
Radunovich missed the works. Williams has it, and with 2:25, Bradley shoots for the lead.
Now let's see if they run something for the Hawk.
Left corner. Stutter, step, and glide. No. He rebounded, and he was fouled. Radunovich, I believe, against Hawkins. And Hawkins frees himself for a shot as well as anybody that you'll ever see.
Watch him there. Now he's in the air. Watch how quick he gets right back in, out-rebounds everybody, and goes back out. Made the full circle, went from one side of the lane to the other, hung in the air, got the shot, got back on his feet, and got a rebound.
You young people, if you hear a coach saying, free yourself for a shot, or a guy can go get a shot for himself, he didn't come off a screen. He came, got the ball, and made that shot opening for himself. And he missed the free throw. The Achilles heel bites again. And it's still, at the 2-minute mark, Wichita State by 1. Bradley has to play the hard D. And in no hurry are the Shockers. Santos, no. Bradley ball.
The Braves will get it back, and back into the game is number 54, Ted Williams. So they've gone for about a minute without a true center. Williams will take over the row, and Bailey will sit down.
All Williams is 6'10", 215. 1:47 to go. Jimmy Les has not scored in this half. Hawkins has. 22nd point for Hawkins, and the basket counts, and Bradley leads at Wichita. Hawkins got it down.
Watch the Hawk afterward. When he saw Radunovich goes down, he quickly turned, and so used to seeing the charging call, he was afraid it was going to be called again. That time, however, they gave it to Radunovich. The Hawk can get the three-pointer and give Bradley a 2-point lead. Now,
he did it. It's a 2-point lead. It's 1:37 left in a real throat tightener at Wichita. 23 for the Hawk. Now, Wichita State says timeout. Wichita State's Gene Smithson is from Paris High School, coached at Illinois State. In 3 years there, he was 66 and 18, went to North Central College in Illinois, an All-American. He's helped out by Rick Shore, Jeff Jones, James Gibbs, and Jose Santos. That's a brother of Gus. Dick Versace helped out by Rudy Keeling, Tom Massimino, Willie Cox. We don't often get a chance to mention the assistant coaches, but they work hard too all through the week, and these teams go through so much more than the average fan, Mike, realizes. They don't just show up at 7 o'clock and play at 8. We were out here for a workout today at 11. They worked out at 5 o'clock last night. and it's down to 132. Bradley's got a 2-point advantage. And are we having fun yet?
We're having a lot of fun and we're having a lot of work. All those hours go into situations like this. Santos has been the key throughout the season. And we would expect that Wichita might be designing something for him over there right now.
You've got to think that the money man is Santos. He averages 16.4 points a game. We have to point out that Lou Hill has missed this game, a starting guard who averages 10-2. But Gary Cundiff has shot the lights out a few times here too today, and they can go to him. Also, Bailey at 6'9" is reputed to be a good shooter.
He had a couple of big baskets. I'm not sure he's going to get into the game as we watch who they send out. Cundiff is in, Coleman is in, Williams is in, Santos and Radunovic will inbounds.
Cundiff is the leading scorer with 12, Santos 10, Radunovic 9. Here we go, minute and a half. Bradley 2 up, playing defense. Bradley's starting lineup is in the game. Who would this be a big win for Dick Versace and the Braves? Radunovic whistles the ball in the corner to Cundiff. Both teams have handled it well. Cundiff, boom.
He has hit the big shot from the very first basket, and he has 14 now, and we're tied again.
Like a knot on the road. Gets tighter. Hawkins steps in for 2. Hawkins' goal does not count. Oh yes, the first thing Dick Versace said was no. It's a charge on the Hawk. Count the basket and give it to him. Watch it.
These are all very, very close calls.
But that's all. That's 5 fouls on the Hawk.
Well, his biggest basket puts Bradley into the lead, but he will have to leave.
Bradley's Hersey Hawkins with 25 points is Plaza Video's Bradley Player of the Game.
Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of the Hawk to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund. They're used to getting on the phone and calling his name, just as Bradley was tonight every time they needed the big basket. But now they'll have to play maybe the final 47 seconds, at least, without him.
And maybe even an overtime, who knows? Now Greg Jones for Bradley joins the lineup. And that's a big play to lose Hersey Hawkins. He's the man they go to. Timeout in the front court immediately by Wichita State. And I would say that Gene Smithson tonight has been extremely pleased to dip deep. The first point guard, Lou Hill, groin injury. Second choice point guard, Clint Normore, bronchitis. Third choice point guard, Gary Cundiff, leading scorer in the game and has been a brilliant performer.
The other point guards, Hill and Normore, are sitting on the bench and probably wondering how soon they can get well. Cundiff has really put on a good performance, and Gene Smithson has to be a little bit surprised to get that kind of a performance out of Cundiff, who really hasn't shown it yet this year. Henry Carr, who fouled out, played brilliantly in the first half and really kept him in it. Carr went out with 9:54. Askew also out of the game. Wichita has played seemingly with about 5 players when you count the guys injured and fouled out.
And now Hawkins is fouled out for Bradley. The shot clock says 41. The game clock says 42.
So what do? Do you shoot for the tie at home?
I would imagine that Gene Smithson will set up a play, run a play with about 12. They may even, what's the timeout situation? Has Wichita State got another timeout? We'll check that. Do they have another timeout? Our answer is no from the right. I was going to say if they did, they might run the clock down to about 15 and take it. They do not have a timeout left.
Well, that'll take care of that. I'm sure Smithson would like him to work some of it off and just get a good shot.
Bradley has 2 timeouts left. Okay. There's the game clock. 42 seconds.
Bradley now man-to-man.
And leading by 2. Bradley has 5 team fouls. They can foul without sending the Shockers to the line. Radunovic, 30 seconds. Santos, watch Santos. Back it in. Is this a honey of a game?
Down to 19 now.
Bradley's really fighting him on the D. A steal by Jones. Ball's loose. Who's got it? Coleman got it over to Santos. 10 seconds in the game. Shot rejected by Williams. Ted Williams threw it up, and Mike Williams threw it in the crowd. 6 seconds left. Wow. 6 seconds left. Bradley does not call a timeout.
And they still have those fouls.
And they can still foul. Coleman goes in. Lost the ball. Picked up. Jump ball. Whose possession? Bradley's. Bradley's possession.
Now the officials have yet to make a call one way or the other. They're coming over, and they seem to be debating whether it's Bradley's. We never saw a sign, but I'm assuming it's Bradley's ball.
Rich Eichhorst came over to the table, never made a signal one way or the other, never said a word. He asked a question, and I think it had to do with possession. It is Bradley's possession. 1 second on the clock, and for all intents and purposes, Bradley has gone 14-1 and 2-0 in the league.
Now we checked over at the bench. Apparently the question was they thought the game was over. Somebody apparently looked at the clock, thought they saw zeros, and wondered why they didn't hear a horn. They were informed that there was 1 second on the clock, and so Bradley will have it with that 1 second. What a job by Mike Williams on that big block.
Really was, and it was a clean one as Theodore Williams turned at 6'10". And it's not just that he blocked a guy 6'4" or 5. He blocked a 6'10" player shot. As there's a mess on the floor here, the ball comes loose, and watch Big Mike number 3 come across your picture here and snuff it.
Not a layup. That's a jump shot.
He snuffed the game maybe with that one. Now there could be 1.9 seconds up there. You don't know those things, but Bradley should be able to win if they can get the ball inbounds. All right.
Wichita will probably try to foul fast.
Bradley by 2. That's it. Bradley's won at Wichita. Their 14th win in 15 games. Their second in the Valley. And the Braves, who were favored by 1, won by 2, and they continue to do what they have to do. They will come back at a limp Henry Levitt Arena in a moment. For Mike Dimick, this is Frank Bassoni wishing you all a very pleasant and happy good evening from Wichita, Kansas, where 10,386 paid to see Bradley extend its record to 13-1 and hang on the top 20 by defeating the Shockers of Wichita in a Missouri Valley Conference game by the final score of 57-55. Join us again on our next Bradley telecast. Until then, thanks for watching and good night.
The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of 25 Sports.
A 1982 Richwoods graduate was found murdered in Houston. Fireworks erupt over Peoria County school reorganization. Forward Peoria looks to 1986, and congratulations are handed out for work done in 1985. And Grammy nominations are out. We'll have the results next on News 25 at 10.
You see that? It's a Coors beer truck. What's interesting is that Coors trucks are refrigerated. That's because heat hurts the taste of beer, any beer. So that's why Coors ships their beer cold, keeps it cold till it gets to your store. And why does Coors and only Coors go to all that expense and trouble? Simple. So you get a better beer. And you want a beer that's a little less heavy, never bitter, but with all the spirit of a great beer. Coors is the one.
Let's get right to the meat of the matter. McDonald's wants to know which big beefy burger is your favorite.
Hey, McDLT.
The lettuce and tomato burger made the way it should be.
Big Mac.
The unique eating experience.
Quarter pounder with cheese.
The big beef taste.
Don't just sit there, vote. Get your ballot at McDonald's, rub, buy your favorite McDonald's sandwich, and get a second one, or fry, or Coke free. At McDonald's, it pays to vote early, vote often.
Donahue, weekday mornings at 9 on TV 25.
From Central Illinois' most trusted news team, this is News 25 with Tom McIntyre, Christine Zack, Bill Houlihan's weather, and Mike Dimmick with sports.
Good evening, everybody. This is News 25 at 10. Houston, Texas police are investigating the murder of a former Peorian, Robert D. Craig, 21, who graduated from Richwoods High School in 1982, was found shot to death in a rural part of Harris County, Texas today. Police say they have a suspect in custody. That suspect led them to Craig's body in a field this afternoon about 4 p.m. Reportedly, the young man, a student at the University of Houston, had been killed after he delivered a car to a man he was trying to sell to his assailant. The police in Harris County say Craig had been missing since the 20th of December. His car had been found in a shopping center a week later. Charges against the man in custody are expected tomorrow. President Reagan's call for sanctions against Libya today. The result, condemnation from Libya, non-compliance from European allies.
Have to observe is that here is Gaddafi. He is harboring terrorists.
George Shultz admits the Europeans aren't exactly jumping for joy about the sanctions. For that reason, Shultz is sending his deputy, John Whitehead, to Europe to try and persuade the allies to come around. Congressman Bob Michael's opinion is reported to be that without some kind of unified action, the sanctions will fail. That view was also expressed by Caterpillar today as well. In Libya, however, it was Muammar Gaddafi who was pushing for sanctions against the United States. And he had hard words for President Reagan.
Thinking Rockland Crusader. This hostile position cannot be explained in racist and crusade terms.
But the hardest words of the day came from Ohio Senator Howard Metzenbaum, who suggested assassinating Gaddafi.
Why not? If he's a party to killing innocent Americans, innocent people from all over the world without any compunction whatsoever, well, then why need we have such compunction about seeing to it that he personally, so we'd assassinate him? It would not be the first time.
The committee in charge of coming up with a school reorganization plan for Peoria County schools has not been happy with the answers it's getting from the state. So tonight, state representatives met with the committee and things didn't get much better. Shelley Dankoff reports.
Representatives from the governor's office, the State Board of Education, and the state legislature were in Peoria tonight trying to answer questions many of the reorganization committee members had. Gail Lieberman had the governor's most recent statement.
Forget politics, buckle down, and develop the plan.
And that's where the niceties ended. A main sticking point in the way the legislation stands now is numbers. High school districts are to have 500 students, while high school and elementary districts combined are to have 1,500. And that's where Peoria County concern comes in, and where committee members feel their questions are being unanswered.
The law says that nothing that anyone has said
has taken those numbers up. All they've said is that it was not mandatory. It has never been mandatory. But the onus has been, if you don't do it, we're going to cut your money.
By law, none of us are supposed to be on the school board. None of us are supposed to be members, employees of the district. We're not supposed to be directly involved with our local schools. And we're supposed to come up with a program for this county that would be a better program. And now we're not to use numbers. What are we supposed to use?
And you have to look very clearly at the section which does discuss the number and talks about justifiable exception. Not just say, number is it.
Legislation introduced today, partially sponsored by Senator Prescott Bloom, would do away with the numbers, and that would help. But it will be at least May before any final answer is made, and the committee must meet a June deadline for submitting their reorganization plan. Shelley Dankoff, News 25.
What has Forward Peoria done for Peoria? Well, according to Mayor Jim Maloof, you haven't seen anything yet. What the mayor means is that his think tank of volunteers has yet to reach its potential, and yes, there have been, he says, numerous accomplishments. Gary Moore attended a ceremony at City Hall tonight to honor members of Forward Peoria, to announce a new chairperson, and to set goals for the future.
These people, members of the mayor's year-old Forward Peoria committee, are credited with being the human element behind much of the positive news we've heard lately.
Your willingness to carry on the promise of Forward Peoria that was non-threatening, totally supportive, totally constructive, never destructive. I applaud you for that. Thank you. That's what we expected of you, and that's what you have done beyond our wildest dreams.
Specifically, the Forward Peoria Southtown Committee is credited with keeping Southtown on the front burner. Thanks also to AMCOR for its business commitment. Credit the Neighborhoods Committee with resolving residential conflicts on the East Bluff. And the list goes on.
Forward Peoria doesn't stop here. It doesn't stop with studies. It doesn't stop with the identification of solutions. It goes on to the execution of those solutions.
In the future, Peorians can thank the Promotions Committee for piping in positive messages about the city and the local airport terminal. The Healthcare Committee will promote Peoria as a major medical center. The mayor says he doubted the effectiveness of Forward Peoria. Maloof says there are still critics who question its real impact. But try telling it to these people. Gary Moore, News 25.
Still ahead tonight on News 25, a new study offers some hope for people with a family history of high cholesterol and heart disease.
A federal agency is looking to make Illinois a safe place to live for bald eagles.
And the nominations are in for those who's hot and those who are not in the music world.
That's the way to do it. You play the guitar on the TV.
Are you refrigerator shopping? Do you work hard for your money?
At Sherman's, we know what hard work is all about. That's why we buy truckloads of refrigerators, so we can give you the absolute lowest price. Only Admiral refrigerators offer this exciting party ice feature. Admiral refrigerators and freezers save you money. That's why this 19 cubic foot refrigerator is best rated by Consumer Reports. So join the smart shoppers and buy your refrigerator at Sherman's in Peoria, 3 blocks south of Sheridan Village, and in Bloomington in Missouri Plaza.
It's no secret that agriculture is going through tough times. That's why we're working smarter and harder. And just as farmers have had to search for new ways to improve their efficiency, so has Farm Credit. As a result of your vote of confidence, we're changing. Our goal is to provide you with improved service and to strive to give you the lowest interest rates possible. At Farm Credit, we've got the energy, the enthusiasm, and the commitment to meet your needs.
Farm Credit Services. We're changing for the better, but our commitment is the same.
Chevrolet Buick didn't become one of Central Illinois' largest Buick dealers by making bad deals. We did it with price. Prices like $10,600 on this 86 Buick Century. Or how about a sporty Skyhawk for only $8,800? And you know what? We're so convinced nobody will beat our price if you bring us an outright bona fide deal from any other Buick dealer and we